If you're a fellow parent who's thinking about this coming up school year and about how the changes because of Corona or the changes because of the last few months might be impacting your child, then I invite you to have a conversation with your child or children. Now, what does this look like? What this looks like is literally just acknowledging what's going on in the world in a very nonchalant but really clear and transparent way. So saying something like, hey, as we know, the world has been really different because we have this thing called coronavirus. And because of it, the end of last year, you were at home. But right now, the schools and the doctors and lots of people are working really hard so that you could go back to school and it could work out really well so you could be back in school. And then you'll go on to share what's gonna look a little different this year are the following. And I just wanna let you know, because last year when you started school in September, it looked a little different and it might have even felt a little different than it's gonna look or feel this year. And then you wanna go through a few different pointers of what's gonna look and maybe even feel different for them going back to school this year. Also preparing them that there might be new things that they're going to be adjusting to as the year goes on. I think this is so important because one of the things that happens with children with anxiety or with trauma is that, if your child is susceptible to anxiety, or even if they're not, what creates anxiety is when there's new situations where there's no preparation for. And a simple conversation of just acknowledging, preparing, and giving space for whatever it is that's coming up is a way to really prepare your child to know what's going to come up. And also let them know that, if they have any questions or if something feels weird or is new, you're going to talk to them about it. And even if you don't, they have a platform that they can say hey mom, hey dad, hey grandma, hey grandpa, or hey whoever, I have a question about this, or this is a little funny. So you're really creating an opening for conversations that are important, especially always, but especially at this time of year where there's so many changes. Some of them are known, some of them are unknown. So that's my tip to you. I wrote a blog about this in going into a bit more detail, giving you some more scripts about conversations that you can have or things that you can do, like an art activity. It's not always about conversation. Some children are not big talkers. And the other last point that I would say is that if you tend to get anxious, if you get nervous, if you're noticing the changes in your personal or professional life, just notice that before you have a conversation with your child. You don't want to inadvertently put your own worries or stress or uncertainty on your child, because the best thing you can do is to let your child know and feel and sense that, the world is a place that's changing, but that you are skilled and that you are learning to cope and that you're able to manage and tolerate whatever comes up, and you're here to help them do that, even if it takes, learning a little bit of a different dance. So reach out for your own support, reach out to a girlfriend, speak to your partner, or reach out for some support if that's what you're needing. And just a little tip, if your child does seem to be struggling specifically with the changes, if they have some social worries or anxiety, reach out to the school ahead of time, speak to someone to say, hey, look out for my child. I always say that, the parents who advocate are the parents whose children are really checked in on. And it never hurts to have a conversation and say, hey, you know what, can you just check out on this or that? And of course, if your child needs extra support from the school guidance counselor or one-on-one counseling to help resolve anxiety or nervousness, that's always a route to take. But for now, I'm a big believer in, being proactive and taking steps to start the year the best way possible. I'm wishing you so much luck and excitement as, this year starts out.